get the good stretch. Oh yeah. Ooh, good pre-podcast stretching.
Stretch.
I didn't see your shirt before. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Got the Super R3 shirt. Ooh, meter on deck.
Control isn't real. Where is it? Nope, that's too far up.
There we go. you just splashed your nipple at me. Thank you.
Is it 4 minutes? Okay, whatever. Well, I guess we got our pre-show. Hello and welcome to the YASEcast. Back at it again. It is I, Lamo, and this is episode 11. With me this week I have the amazing Morgan.
It's me.
And the equally amazing Velius.
That's also me.
And that's it. It's just a 3-person crew today. Keeping it simple, going back to basics. Oh my gosh. What a whirlwind past couple of weeks for so many reasons.
Yeah.
Shit has been going and has not stopped. I don't know if we are qualified in any way to even begin to talk about some of those things, but y'all know what's going on.
So we didn't record last week, and
No.
things have only escalated then. If you had told me at the beginning of the year that police and prison abolition were going to become mainstream political talking points over the course of 1 week, I would have not believed you. And, we got many months left in 2020. So
We aren't even halfway through the year yet. We're almost there. We're almost halfway through the year. It feels like there have been like 5 years in this one single year.
it's so I saw a tweet earlier today. Do you guys remember the problem clown?
No.
Like where there's like the GIF and there's like a guy,
yes!
and he's got the clown like throwing knives in his back,
So, like,
and the clown's
yeah,
like
and
problems, and then
the wife comes
over.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she puts up the anti-clown barrier.
You want to know when that was like the zeitgeist?
Oh no.
Like 3 months ago.
No. No.
It feels like forever, right? It feels like
Yeah.
years. Like that's like a meme from like 2017, right? No, it was a meme from this year, like 3 months ago.
That just made me tired.
I know.
Like, that took energy from my body. So obviously, as Morgan kind of led onto, we didn't record last week for a few reasons. Things just didn't really line up. But I was also working, doing an install way out of the city. So I was actually working right near Mount Rushmore, like maybe 15-20 minutes from like Mount Rushmore National Park, which was awesome. Loved it up there, up in the mountains. Like everything's super beautiful. And on my last full day out there, I had a little bit of extra time after leaving the job. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Custer State Park. And I'm going to drive on Twin Needles Highway, which is like a very super scenic route. Absolutely beautiful. And there's a lot of like really cool scenic views. There's parts where it's like one car at a time tunnels where it's literally just carved out of the mountain. It just majestic views and stuff. I saw a mountain goat and I saw a buffalo that was just hanging out right next to the road. Super cool. Made some animal friends.
Wow.
But
you
you
saw a real mountain goat this time.
I saw a real ass mountain goat.
Wow.
I haven't seen them. I've yet to see the mountain goats perform, but I have seen a real ass mountain goat. And there was one point where I'm standing at this overlook and I'm way high up and I'm seeing like the forest stretch out beneath me and I'm looking at the different almost patterns on the rocks across the valley where you can kind of see almost what I can only describe as like the grain, where you can see how rain or other natural forces have kind of worn away different sides of these rocks and these cliffs. And I'm thinking about just how amazing it is and how small I feel. And the very next thought that pops in my head was, fuck, I want to play some Marvel. I just really wanted to play Marvel 3 right then and there. Because I was playing that like the weekend before I left against Master Who. And we were playing a whole bunch and I'm just like, shit, I bet he's grinding right now. And I bet next time you play, he's going to bop me. I want to play some fucking Marvel. That's all I could think about. I'm like, And so literally it was like, okay, I need to get back in my car and just keep looking at nature and feeling small because, goddamn,
You know,
I wanted to play some fucking Marvel.
if you get small enough, you can't get hit by instant overheads.
It's true.
It's true. You can duck
It's
those.
true.
You can duck those.
So that kind of leads me to, I guess, what would be my check-in topic. Who would be on the Mount Rushmore of Marvel 2?
Of Marvel 2. Oh, gosh.
You know, we can just open it up just to Marvel in general, and you can specify whether it's a character from a specific game.
Do you mean players or do you mean characters?
I mean characters.
Okay, good, because I was like, players, like, I don't know if I want some of those people on the mountain somewhere. You want to see Chris G on a mountain?
We tear those ones down like you're doing all the Confederate monuments.
Yeah, those monuments go in the river. Catch me tearing down the Chris G monument.
Bless.
All right, characters. I think Marvel 2 is a lot easier than, like,
Yeah.
or if you do want to do Marvel overall.
I mean, you can do Marvel overall and then just have Marvel 2 stuff on there. It's up.
It's
to
going to
you.
be the same for me. I don't think there's anyone. I guess
it's like jazz. It's about the characters you don't choose.
Whew, what the fuck? What do I do with that? Okay, here's what I'm thinking. For the culture, Magneto, it's Storm, it's
Yeah.
Sentinel.
Yeah,
How many do we get on Mount? It's 5 on Mount Rushmore, right?
I think so. I don't know. I just live here.
What the fuck?
I think it's
Okay,
fine.
we're going
I think
5.
it's fine.
We're going 5.
We're going 5.
Magneto, Storm,
Yeah.
Sentinel, Cable,
Yeah.
Commando.
Ooh, Commando's an interesting pick.
I think, Commando produces, like, if you want to get, like, more, like, for the culture, though, of just,
Yeah.
like, not characters I like, MSP, Cable, I'd almost have to say Cyclops for that
Okay.
one Justin comeback video. Because, like,
That's
so much
legitimate.
Marvel culture has come from that, of we got ourselves a real match. How many times have you heard that? Probably a lot. And it comes mostly from that video and because of Scott Summers.
There you go. Val, do you got an answer? Or do you want to think on it a bit?
I think you would have Doctor Doom,
Mm.
Wolverine, Storm,
Mhm.
Cyclops for the culture. And then the last one is where I'm having trouble because I'm not sure. I think I would have to go with Sentinel just because of the constant relevance that annoys the shit out of me. Like,
Whackbot.
Sentinel is always good. That's the law of Marvel. Sentinel is mandated to be good.
Yeah.
Or it's not Marvel.
So, like, on a related tangent, so I was graced, and this will probably curtail a little bit into my check-in, by the one and only Mr. Yusuck this weekend here in Maryland.
Oh,
And we watched a
Mr.
lot of Marvel Top 8s.
Yeah?
Like Evo
Fuck,
Top 8s.
that sounds like such a good time.
We watched a lot of like we
Oh.
played old SNK games, and we watched a lot of the like old really good top 8s. So like Marvel Top 8s, the King of Fighters 13 Top 8s.
I was already jealous. Now I'm more jealous.
Yeah, and then I made bomb-ass vegan burgers, too. It was sick as heck. But I
But
do have to say, Marvel is a beautiful game. Like, just
It's a beautiful
all,
game.
all in all. I completely lost my train of thought because I was just thinking about, like, that
It's okay.
year
I
that
can-
Justin finally won Evo, and I was, like, thinking about, like, the stories and the history coming out of there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit, that was so good.
Marvel has like I'm forever a Street Fighter boy and a Street Fighter player over a Marvel player, but like Marvel has some of the best stories.
It's like even like we were watching these top 8s and like the natural drama that came out of that franchise in Marvel 3. Like you had that long standing thing of like Justin and Chris and Filipino Champ and Evo top 8s where it was like, which one of them is the favorite to win, and then Flocker wins, basically a huge upset. Or like the year like again, like Justin finally clutches it out and he finally wins and gets that big gets the big one, and everyone's just like in the crowd going nuts over it. And that's just Marvel 3, like never mind, and just Evo, never mind the other stuff like Kusoru Marvel 3 at final round, like that year with the it had 6
my God.
Spider-Man.
I love that boy so god. I'm sorry, I love that man so goddamn much.
Mean
my,
Peter
and
Parker.
then he came, he won the tournament, he took everybody's money in money matches, and then he's like, I'm never going back to America to play this game because this game sucks and y'all take it way too seriously.
And
I love that.
and had the copy of Sengoku
Fate?
Basara X.
Oh, that's what it was.
on
Yeah, and
his stream.
every time he went on stream, he'd hold it up. Yeah.
It's like Kusoge. It's just a Kusoge. Oh, it's good.
And then of course just like watch them play Guilty Gear, because it's if you've been playing Guilty Gear for a while, you'll see it and be like, why is he doing this? And oh my god, it's working. And then you cannot get a read on Kusoru. You can't, because he is pure chaos.
I don't know if that's true, but one of my favorite old Guilty Gear matches is definitely Steve H versus Kusoru at Final Round.
Yup.
Like,
It's so good.
Great examples of stickbug commentary. It's wonderful.
Oh shit! I need to get to my Mount Marvel.
Get to your chicken. What's your Mount Marvel?
Okay, so this is not. There's a mix here, and I think it's mostly going to be characters I feel like contributed the most to what made Marvel hype.
All right.
Strider Hiryu's going on there.
Ooh.
I fucking love you watch a good Strider play, and that shit is amazing. It is transcendent. You watch like some of the anti-Sentinel tech you see with Strider. I think it was Clockwork who's doing for a Strider play.
You mean a washed-up old veteran like Clockwork?
Damn. But I could watch that shit for hours. Sentinel's got to be on there. One of my all-time favorite pop-offs. I cannot remember the player's name right now, and it's absolutely killing me. But winning a match to get into, I think it was top 32 or top 16 in Marvel 2 at EVO one year, and it's thank God for the machine. Thank God for Sentinel. That is one of my all-time. It's so good. It is such a good pop-off. Cable is on there.
Yep.
Magneto is on there. Because I feel like you cannot have a monument to Marvel and not have Marvel 2 Sentinel on there. The character's too fucking legit. I think that's 4. Strider, Sentinel,
Magneto.
Okay, that's only 3. I'm bad at counting.
I
hella
have
bad at
counting.
One.
It's your mountain. Put as many as you want on it.
It's my list. It's my mountain. Hell yeah, it's my mountain. I'm making that a fucking phrase. Hey, it's your mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I hate that now I'm having trouble with my own question that I posed the group, and I also had the most amount of time to think of answers, and now I'm drawing a blank.
Just put Commando on there.
Oh, boy. I kind of want to put Commando on there.
Just hold down the neutral.
Just hold that. Oh, Doom. I'm putting Doom on there also, because Doom is... I mean, Marvel 2 Doom and Marvel 3 Doom are both their very own, like, unique styles of Doom that I fucking love. And they're both, like, super good in just, like, different ways. I'm not going to put 2 Dooms on there, though, as much as I want to. I'll do Doom and then Storm. Because I don't think, like, you can... Storm is so fucking wild in that game, too. Okay, that's my 5. We have to move on, otherwise I'm going to forever... be like, no, wait, hold on. I need to switch somebody out, because I
can't
will
believe you wouldn't put
that.
Blackheart on there.
I mean, I was thinking about my boy Amingo.
Ooh, Anacharus.
Now we're talking. Now we're getting to real Marvel characters.
Ooh, we're gonna spend a lot of time.
I love that as joking as we are, even jokingly, we didn't suggest Roll. It's like, no.
I forgot Roll was
not
in the
putting
game.
Roll there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally forgot Roll was in the game.
The ever popular Tatsunoko vs. Capcom character makes their way to Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, if we're gonna bring in like the verses, like say verses in general, then Gold Light's Hand's got to be on there too.
Oh hell yeah!
The Giants.
Oh.
We put respect on Giants in this chat.
Hell fucking yeah!
No, we should not. Giant players are cops.
Shit.
Anyway, I'm gonna edit that out.
So we know what you've been up to. You were hanging with Mr. You Suck. I almost called him by his real name. Nope, not doing
No,
that.
you caught yourself. You think you're better than me? We had I've known him for
No
10
comment.
years. I'll call him what I want. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, I was graced by the presence of Mr. Yusuck. We played a lot of old SNK games. So found my new favorite SNK character, Hinako, in KOF 2K2 UM, because she is a sort of an Ojo-sama archetype character, but she fights with sumo wrestling, and not like E Honda sumo wrestling. Like she goes like doskoi when she like attacks people, and she has like full screen God press and everything. It's great.
Holy shit!
She's like an
I have
actual,
not played enough SNK games. I feel bad for not knowing.
I discovered,
that rules.
and I'm happy. Also, like we played like Samurai Sam Show 5 Special, and Garo Mark of the Wolves, which has my favorite aesthetically version of Terry, which got the cool bomber jacket.
It's so
Wild
cool.
Wolf Terry.
It's the best. Wild Wolf, yeah.
I love how everything in Garo looks.
It's
like that's probably one of my favorite looking games of all time.
It is a stunningly beautiful game. It's got Tizhawk in it. It's got
Love
the
that
fart
boy.
glitch, which kind of unfortunately sours the whole thing. But so like there's a guy, and he's like one of the Akari warriors, if you're not familiar with Garo. And he has the ability, basically it's like my understanding is like it's a feint, sort of, where he starts a move and then cancels it. But the move is like a big fire punch, where he like winds back behind him. But when you cancel it, the fire is still there, but he goes back to like his neutral position. So there's just a big like ball of fire outside his butt, hence the name the fort glitch. And for some reason, that builds a crap load of meter. And then he has a 0 frame super. So he just builds a bunch of meter and then has a 0 frame super behind him, and it just kind of breaks
so
the game.
Up.
It's really
Kevin
fucked up.
is so stupid good.
Kevin is dumb. But beyond,
It's like imagine if in Street Fighter 4 El Fuerte he could do like his run stop fierce, but that gave him like 50 meter each time he did it.
it's
Like,
it.
so
It's basically
fucked up.
it.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but I played Terry in that game, so it's fine. Beyond that, I've been playing a lot of Skullgirls, which we can probably circle back. I think we all kind of got that team game bump here, and it's I've been streaming a lot of it, and it's been really cool because the community has been extremely welcoming, and like people will stop into my stream and be like, "Yo, I see you're struggling with this one combo in training mode. Try doing this," and then it'll just immediately work.
Yo, that fucking rules.
That extremely rules, and I play Parasol, Double, and I'll probably add Cerebella at some point. So basically, there's a very strong player that plays named Gelato, who basically plays that team, and every now and then, like they'll pop into my stream and give me advice on stuff and whatnot, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And the hard part about it, at least for me, has been Skullgirls is a very different game than basically anything I've ever played. I mean, fundamentally, a lot of the Arc System Works fighting games like Grand Blue and Guilty Gear and BlazBlue and BB Tag and even like Battle Fantasia, if I want to go all the way back, are all very similar. And they kind of have the same universal rules and like flow of the game and tempo and everything that goes with them. And Skullgirls is so wildly different, even from like Street Fighter or other versus games, that it makes it hard to be a beginner again. And I find myself like beating myself up, like, oh my god, like why did I drop that combo? Why did I do this? And it's been a very interesting experience to have to go back to play a game that is within the genre of fighting games, definitely, but is so radically different from everything that I'm used to that basically I'm like having to really check a lot of my understanding and really be nice to myself, because this game is not only like is it very different, it's hard. Like there are very cool but very difficult parts of it, and it's been a really fun ride, but it's been an uphill battle at times.
Yeah.
But when you
it's
get the
weird to kind of go back to that beginner state where, and this is always kind of a struggle for me, not really understanding the fundamentals of like a team game or a tag game, whatever you want to call them, and having to be like, okay, this is incredibly new. And same thing kind of happened too, like you're trying to pick up 3D fighters where it's just like, I can't make anything fucking move the way that I want them to move. Everything feels stiff and bad, and I hate it. And it sucks going back to that, like, beginner state. So I can definitely sympathize with you there.
Yeah, thank you for your sympathy. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's a really weird spot to be in. But then also that means that you get to make those big breakthroughs. And so when someone comes in and is like, hey, maybe consider doing this, and I try it and it works, or seeing, even if I sometimes get down on myself, even while I'm streaming, like talking about it, looking back on it, going from like day to day of like, okay, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, now I have a B&B with one character. Now I have a B&B with both characters. Now I understand more of the combo system. Now I'm hitting those combos consistently. And then by the end of the first week, it's like I'm calling my assists appropriately in neutral. I'm getting the big mixies. And when you get the schmicks in that game, when you appropriately...
I love you're full Italian, just like when you get
when you get the schmicks, when you apply the schmovement and it leads to the schmicks, the dopamine rush is crazy. Of just like, oh shit, double died, I've got solo parasol, and you just like put someone in a blender and just like kill their characters and like throw their incoming and kill the next character. You're just like, I am so nice right now. I am so nice. I did the schmicks. You couldn't deal with the schmovement. My schmootrol is insane. It's good. I'm having a lot of fun.
Speaking of tweets or memes that are much more recent than we thought, Schmovement isn't even 2 weeks old yet.
I know. It's great.
It's fucked up. But I mean, it's fucked up, but also like it's become that instant classic where it's like I can't remember a time without Schmovement.
It's like Bernstein versus like Berenstein.
Yeah.
Bears. It's like, no, that's like, definitely like we've always had schmovement. It's new to you, but we've always had schmovement.
My forefather fought for schmovement in the Great War.
In the Schmivel War. That's like,
no.
Let's forget that.
Yeah.
That's bad.
A time without schmovement. Those were dark days.
Mm. But now we're moving into the new millennium.
Oh, Velia, save us!
I'm just gonna say it's the schmark of the millennium.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It's gotten worse.
Sibelius, please, dear God, save us. What have you been up to this past week?
So for the most part, I was reintroduced to Battle for the Grid because Rhett and I have been playing Tekken 7, and I was like, I want a game with good netcode. So I turned to Battle for the Grid, especially after it's 2020 is so fucked me up because I don't even remember, but they released the next season of DLC characters, like the announcement for it. So I was like, I'm going to have to get this game at some point now because now there's a Shinkenger, which is my favorite Sentai series of all time. So I was like, I got to pick it up now. Like, I'm honor bound. And it already has Gokai Yellow in it. So I was already just kind of like automatic character choice. I don't care how good or bad they are that's on the team. I don't care. So I picked it up for the past day and remembered, oh, it's a really great game besides, but I don't know how to do anything. And other than that, it's just been like I've been comparing the journey that is that game in comparison to Tekken 7, and it's kind of similar since I never really picked up Josie. Now I'm playing Josie as my main character in Tekken 7, and she operates so differently. Like, I used to main Hwarang, and they have similar, like, offensive principles where it's like, you should be pressing buttons, and if you're not pressing buttons, you're probably doing something wrong. But Josie's buttons are very, very fucking different, and I'm completely unfamiliar with, like, her pressure strings and I mean, in general, I need to get better at movement in Tekken anyway, but I compared that to my experience with Battle for the Grid and like how you use tags in that, and obviously like the different Zords and just all the different mechanics, and then setting aside the netcode shit for a second. It's such a different kind of learning environment too. Partly because, again, shout out to Scary Eyes, who also played with me and Master Who for quite a while, and that was actually the one who told me to pick up Josie. So it's like, thanks for the assist. But it's just nice to have, you know, like the more positive elements of game communities really coming up and making like playing fighting games fun again.
Hell yeah.
That's been like my source of positivity.
Especially, right? Especially like, given how online everything kind of needs to be right now, it's so nice to remember, like, hey, Battle for the Grid has really good netcode, and just like, probably worth picking up, probably worth playing right now. But also, I need to say something. I need to say one thing real quick. Every single week, it seems like Master Who is playing a different fucking fighting game. It's impossible. It's like, man, just stick with Marvel with me. I want to play Marvel.
Sorry, you got to get on the grid. You're currently living off the grid.
I've been trying so hard to live off the grid for years. But now the grid's coming for me.
I'm just thinking about... You're right. Like, there's this, like, every week we talk about it because every week it's relevant for us. Of just like how every game needs to be extremely online right now. And I've been way ahead of the curve. I've been really online for like the past decade.
Too online, some might say.
I try to get less online, actually. Is Battle for the Grid in EVO Online?
It is not, actually.
I don't think it is. It's not, which is kind of surprising.
And the weird part is,
weird.
The weirdest part is that game has full crossplay between all its versions. It's like PS4, Xbox One,
really?
Switch, and PC can all play each other.
Yo.
That's what like drew me to it. I'm just like, so I can play with people who don't own a PS4, who only have it on PC. I have a fucking Xbox One or Switch. I mean, come on.
Hold up. I need to just real quick. Battle for the Grid. $20?
You could do that. You could be a Power Ranger.
That's for the base game. The and each season pass is $15 a piece, and there'll be another one soon.
I'm looking on the Steam page for it, and I'm seeing like, base game. There's like a $40 collector's edition, and I need to scan every single thing that they say that collector's edition includes, because for whatever reason, when my eyes like skimmed like through the page, I could have sworn I saw Power Rangers Kart Racer, and I know that's not a thing. I know that's not on here. But I need to make sure that it's not on here.
Do you want that now? Do you really want to play a kart racer with like? Fuck, I want that now.
Right? You could fucking could race as the Zords.
Oh fuck no!
Yeah,
I mean, actually,
you
fuck
could
yeah.
like extreme like course. Yeah.
Shit. Why are we not? All right.
Rita comes and makes the racetrack just a lot bigger. It's nothing's really too dangerous on it. But now it's like, shit, I guess you gotta race some Zords now.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. Power Rangers, get us on the line.
Yo. Get us on the grid.
Get us on the grid. I'm going on the grid, Power Rangers.
It's going to be Race for the Grid.
Oh, it's even better.
Ooh. In the grid, it's just the checkered flag.
Oh.
I need Power Rangers Kart Racer. I fucking need it.
You just breathed that into the world. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Now I truly know what it's like to bring a new life into this world.
Fuck.
This is truly... I can now tell my brother and my sister and my parents, yeah, I get it now. I talked about Power Rangers Kart Racer on a podcast.
That's the same as having a child.
It's the same thing. It's a lot less expensive.
It's
At
true.
most, it's probably going to be like $30 or $40.
That DLC adds up.
Yeah. I need to stop looking at this game, so I'm going to want to buy it and not focus on talking to y'all.
I mean, go off, King.
Oh, no,
Become
not now.
Become a powerful ranger.
and the most powerful range this world's ever seen. So let's. I want to swing back around to Skullgirls because you've been playing a lot of Skullgirls.
A lot of Skullgirls, actually.
And now that I feel like all of Yace has been putting a lot of time into Skullgirls. How would you? I don't want to say compare it to games like Marvel 2 or Battle for the Grid, but I guess what makes it more unique for you, or what's kind of like the big selling point right now?
So the biggest thing for me is so I can't really compare it to Marvel 2 because the Marvel series or other Versus series games, because I haven't really played them before. This is really the first time I've tried to play a team-based game. And apart from like the team mechanics that make it very new, what I'm really used to in games is you do your combo goes into a knockdown, and that allows you to do the Oki, which means, what is it? I'm trying to make a shitty joke of being in the mind of your opponent, but it's like, Oki is just like, it's what you do when the opponent's knocked down.
I almost said that, so don't feel bad at all for
it's like TL note,
making that bad
Okazemi
joke.
means being in the mind of your knocked down opponent. Actually, that's a schmix. A schmix is being in the mind of your knockdown opponent.
There you
But
go.
so that's generally the format, right? You play neutral, you do your combo. Combo generally leads into a knockdown, and then you do a mix-up, either a higher or lower throw afterwards. What makes Skullgirls very interesting to me is that style of Okazemi doesn't really exist. Instead, the combo is the Oki. And it's actually generally ill-advised because of another system in the game called Undizzy to do really long proactive combos. So the way it works is that basically combos have stages. Like your first chain leads into an air series, then you do an air series, then you maybe restand them and do another series. But as you get into more and more chains, you start building up a meter called Undizzy, where if you max it out, your opponent gets a free burst. But the first chain or two doesn't actually build any Undizzy, or they build very little. So there's a lot of incentive to do a combo, put your opponent into a position where you can reset them, and then reset them. So for example, I do my combo into a launcher, into an air series. Now I could, restand, do a move that carries my opponent all the way to the ground, and then continue the combo, and then cash out with meter and take a bunch of damage. Or I do that same combo, I do that air series, but instead of bringing them all the way to the ground, maybe I hit them with a jab, I wait, and I air throw them for teching, minimizing the amount of Undizzy they build, and then resetting them. Or maybe I position it so that I fall to the ground before they do, and then I can dash underneath them and then reset them with a cross-up. And that's where you get the big dopamine, and then you start understanding the game. It's like the combo and your setups and your set play are all intertwined. So it's not like neutral to combo to Oki, and if you do the right Oki, you get another combo into another setup. The Oki and combo are blended together in a way that makes the game really fun to play. And also really engaging even as a defender, because when I'm getting hit, I'm not looking around the screen at my resources and thinking oh, well, my opponent got the hit, they're going to do the combo. No, I'm looking for the reset, because I know that it's I got to be on edge here, and if I'm slacking, I'm going to get reset with an overhead or something, and then this character is dead.
Yeah, and that's funny, because that's the thing that I exactly was thinking of. I was thinking how mentally exhausting it sounds, in a good way, because if I'm playing Guilty Gear and I get hit, if I get picked up by Renthal, that's 10 seconds where I'm just I'm just I have to wait for so long just to go over. But yeah, even, a lot of games have active defense, but yeah, Skullgirls kind of takes it to a different level when you're kind of always waiting for, okay, where are they going to stop this combo purposely, and then try to mix me up into something new. So active defense almost takes on an entirely different meaning and has different circumstances and consequences even in Skullgirls compared to other games. That's super neat. I knew that it was a reset heavy game, but I didn't understand why. I didn't know that the Undizzy system was actually a thing. That's super fucking cool.
It's really cool. And then there's another system that also plays into it and it's the infinite protection system. So, like, you brought up Ramethal. So in Guilty Gear or in Versus games, typically there's like to keep you from doing super long infinite combos, there's usually a system where either as you rack up hits, the opponent gets heavier so that they're eventually going to hit the ground, or there is some kind of hit stun deterioration. So like maybe early in the combo, these two hits would connect, but later in the combo, they don't. That doesn't exist in Skullgirls. Something that works in the beginning of the combo will work at the end of the combo. But when you start a new chain, the game checks, have you started a chain with this button already? And so if you do, your opponent gets a burst. And like they start getting like pink and the hit stop changes, and then it's basically saying they press any button, they get a free burst. So that's one way of restricting it. Eventually you just run out of ways to start chains, and naturally the combo is going to end. But then there's a whole nother game of it too, of I can deliberately give my opponent a burst so that I can bait it so that I can kill them.
That's what I was fucking wondering. I was just thinking that. I was like, ooh, can you bait that burst? How fast is that burst?
So like I can do a combo, let's say with Parasol. I do an air sequence. I carry my opponent to the ground. I launch them again. And let's say I started the last air sequence with jumping light kick. With jumping light kick. This time I do jumping back jump light kick, and if they're mashing burst, they burst like a fool in the air, and I dash up and completely reset them.
Damn.
Like the capacity, like, so all these come together. The infinite protection system again incentivizes you don't want to do the long proactive combos. You want to hit the opponent, get the hit, and then schmix them until they die, because there's a lot of incentive in terms of damage scaling and all that, and also the way that the Dizzy system works to not do long combos. And so it's a really weird game to get your head around, and it took me a couple of days to figure it out, because I would like end my combo in like a sweep and then call an assist, and then my opponent would like tech through the assist at me, and I'm like Oki doesn't exist in this game. No, it does. It's just the Oki and combo are kind of mashed up together in a way that I haven't really seen. Or at least I personally haven't played another game, and it's fun.
I'm going to have to launch up Skullgirls.
It's a fun game. But it's rough, because like you're learning all this stuff and you're figuring this stuff out, and you're going on a quick play, and there's people like, yeah, I've been playing this game for 5 years.
Yeah, it's been out for like 7 or 8 years now at this point.
And there are people that are very good at it.
Yeah, which I feel like is going to contribute to the game feeling mentally exhausting.
But also,
like I said, not a bad thing. It's just like I picture. Where do you work out? I work out at the library. Where do you play fighting games? I play fighting games at the library. That's what's going through my head right now.
Where do you work out? Training mode.
Training mode, yeah.
A cool reframe, though.
I work out in training mode with Sonic Fox. Speaking
of Sonic Fox, they are an angel, and maybe the best thing to have ever happened to the fighting game community. But anyway, the a reframe of that is that it's a very helpful community. It seems like, in part because of people like Sonic Fox, it's a pretty progressive and welcoming community. And they're very good at documenting things. So like you go on like the Mizumi wiki or something, and there's B&Bs, there's common resets, there's skill building advice. It's overwhelming how much information is out there, and it rules.
That rules.
Yeah, it rules.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because I mean,
hell yeah.
Earlier this year when Grand Blue came out, there was so much of just like, here's some crazy tech on Twitter with just the caption of like, well, I can't believe this is in the game, and it turned to be like some really important stuff, and no tags on it, no nothing. I don't know if stuff like that ever even ended up on wikis somewhere. It's just like, it's frustrating to see so many cool things just get completely lost to time because of bad documentation. So to see that that's something that they're taking seriously, and granted they've also had the benefit of the game being out for, multiple years at this point, the better part of a decade. Sure, yeah. More of that's going to be filled out, but it's so refreshing to see that where just information is readily available.
It's a trip, it's a ride, I'm still on it, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I feel like I'm actually like kind of getting somewhere with this game, and it's dope as heck.
Velius, do you have any experience with Skullgirls?
I mean, I have a little bit, but the main like that exhaustion is actually kind of what like taps me out a bit, just because it's like, so the only real like universal mechanics that it has in common with a lot of other like tag fighting games is you have a tag partner potentially. But you don't even have to, which already separates it from most other tag fighters, because it's like you can solo. You're not forced to have a team of 3. Also, being able to choose like any special for their assist, is that right? I think you can input like you can choose from like pre-selected ones.
Yep. Custom assist.
Yeah. So it's like, that's also unique. That gives you a whole lot of new options.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's
it's interesting because like there's a meta to it. So typically there's like 3 or 4 assists that are like really good with each character, but you get stuff like someone will pick up Valentine and they're using her throw, or just her normal throw as an assist because it's a restand, or you have a character with a multi-hit forward moving normal, and people will use it for lockdown. So there's so much room to just like figure out what you want to do and to play with what you want in that game.
Well, even though it's been out for so long, there's still just so much that you could do with it, and basically use any team that you really want to, which is great. It's just like a so unconventional comparison to so many other fighting games in general, and its art style is still. It's like the fluidity of its art is something that is unparalleled, I would say. I was trying to find the right word to use.
And that's incredibly like valid to bring up too. I mean, the game animation is beautiful. It has a great soundtrack too. Like holy crap, that game has a really nice soundtrack. I should give it another shot. I have so many games that are just like creeping back onto my plate. Marvel 2. I was looking at Power Rangers not even 20 minutes ago. Now Skullgirls. Destiny 2 just launched a new season yesterday, and yes, I reinstalled the game and I've been playing it.
Remember when you said you were done with that game?
Yeah, I know.
So it's okay.
I know. The new season looks really good. The final. I'm not going to get into Destiny talk. We'll save that for another week once I've had more time.
I think the only thing that I want to say about Destiny is please respect players' time more. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Fair, incredibly valid.
It's like Skullgirls is the opposite. Skullgirls hella respects your time, because the time that you put into it is almost never wasted, because you're always experimenting, and and just because it doesn't necessarily work doesn't mean that it's not. That doesn't mean that it's useless tech either. You're always learning.
The game even respects your time when you're getting comboed.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
It's training mode in that game is like a vortex of just like, shit, where did 2 hours go?
I can absolutely believe that. With how freeform the combo system is and how everything else is, it's just like, yeah, fuck it. let's see what kind of weird things you can experiment with and see what works and see what doesn't. Shit.
I think it's
I totally forgot about the custom assist thing you brought up earlier. I totally forgot that was a thing.
I think it's one of the few fighting games where saying that it's the lab is quite possibly the most appropriate use of that word, because it is genuinely a laboratory. You have all these tools that you get to fuck around with, and you get to play around with it and figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, fuck. Skullgirls. I am so glad that it seems like for such a long time that Skullgirls was never getting a lot more of the mainstream recognition that it really did deserve. Seeing it get into a playable spot for EVO Online this year really just feels like vindication for Mike Z, which I know is probably something we've talked about before, but The game has great netcode. Everything's very thought out. You probably already have the game in your Steam account or something because it goes on sale for like $2 all the damn time. Play Skullgirls. Skullgirls. Bleh.
Schoolgirls.
No, that's illegal.
I'm only talking about grills. Propane. Charcoal.
Only talking about go play Bear Grylls. Just go out in the woods. Go play Bear Grylls.
Yeah, you really like put yourself out there, didn't you? Maybe you should like go find your joke out there in the woods somewhere.
Listen, it's been a long day.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That joke was straight garbage. I deserve to be called out for my garbage ass joke.
It's okay. It's fine.
Someone needs to do it. Oh, I think that might even wrap it up for this week. I know we have some other topics I think we're going to wrap around to next week because I think that one's going to be a long one. So
I think that's one we got to focus more on. Should we drop a teaser for what we're going to talk about?
No. Unless if you want to. I don't know how to tease it. So if you have something in mind.
I mean, I think it kind of curtails into one more thing I wanted to bring up, which is, and we'll get a bigger conversation about this. Like, I finally got to Shadowbringers in Final Fantasy XIV. And the difference between playing content that is current and content that the game is racing you through to catch up is night and day, and I am finally really enjoying the game. And I feel like I'm playing the actual game instead of like, here's old story content, and we're going to like give you shitloads of experience, so you can just like, but you still got to read it.
Enjoy Shadowbringers. There's some very good stuff there. I am excited to hear your experience with it and to see you go through the plot.
I just got the trust system and I love it so much.
It's so good because you don't have to like wait around for people to do old ass content. I wish they had that shit, and like it's very good. And like granted, you can only go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say at least going through the MSQ for Shadowbringers the first time, you can only do the trust system like your first time going through a dungeon. But after you beat 5.0, you can go back and replay those old Shadowbringers dungeons with that trust system again. So
that's cool.
I actually used that going through the first time to kind of grind for gear a bit, where it's like, okay, I'm going to do trust system to get instant queue for a dungeon, and then I'm going to beat everything but the last boss, exit out, and then go back into the dungeon. That way I'm not competing with anybody for rolls on anything. It's just whatever drops is mine. Fuck it. Y'all cool. Can't have it.
I like it because, we could talk more about this like in a more developed conversation, but it adds a lot to the gameplay and story because the different NPCs you can pick. So like if you're listening to this this tangent here, the trust system in Final Fantasy XIV allows you to enter a dungeon with, instead of players, with NPCs that are controlled by the AI, but they respond to things differently. So, and it plays to their personalities as well. So, for example, in one of the dungeons, there's a mechanic where a boss drops out the floor, shoots you guys across a chasm, and you have to do like a tightrope puzzle to get across. And the different NPCs all respond to it differently, including like one dude, I'm going to mispronounce his name, Urianger?
Urianger.
Urianger. Just floats across because he's magic.
Yep.
But then if you bring in the rogue, who's also I think the youngest member of the group, she gets scared and like slowly walks across it so that she actually will fail.
Yep.
And
every time
she fails, and then like the boss disappears the thing and she collapses because she was too afraid to do it. So it's like they build the story into the way the NPCs deal with the boss mechanics in a way that has like made me actually invested in the story and the characters in a way I have never been before playing this game. It's great, and we can talk more about that next week because I'm excited to come back with another week of experience playing this game because it is sick as heck, and I'm so hyped to be playing this expansion.
It's such a good expansion, and yeah, again, I can't wait to see and hear more of your experience going through it. But we need to cut things for this episode for now. Thank you so much for listening to the YASEcast, episode 11. Back to basics, back to brunch, back to breakfast.
We're never going back to brunch.
I want
Fuck brunch.
It's 8:10 at night, but I want breakfast. I am
That's
Lamo.
Brenner.
I am Lamo, your beautiful breakfast boy. Thank you again to Morgan. Thank you again to Velius for joining me here today. Plug your socials. Where can the people find you?
You can find me at fog_e on Twitter. My Twitch is the same. And I'm probably going to stream more Grand Blue lately. I feel like that game is having a rough spot and deserves love. And I do love it. So
Agreed.
That and Skullgirls, obviously. And I've also been breaking into the VTuber market. So if you want to look at my VTuber lectures on psychology and social psychology in particular, where you can get various anime girls to talk to you about stereotyping and prejudice. Maybe that'll be a forthcoming project. I am a doctor, after all.
Velius, where can the people find you?
Find me on Twitter at _Velius and writing for realbattleonfilm.wordpress.com.
Hell yeah. You can
Hell
find
yeah.
me, Lamo, on Twitter at Lamo_SD. You can find me on, actually, I might be making a small return to Twitch in the near future. So you can find me on twitch.tv/Lamo. Might be running some people through some earlier Destiny 2 content, since some of that stuff's going to be cycled out, and maybe just doing a bit of who knows what. We'll figure it out as we go. But again, thank you so much for joining us here on this fabled episode 11 of the YASEcast. Go to yase.world, get yourself a shirt, follow the Twitters, join the Yase Discord. If you are listening to this episode or any episode of the YASEcast and you're not in the Yase Discord, go to yase.world, come join us. It's cool as hell in here. Until then, though, we will see you next time. Stay beautiful. Stay any other combination of adjectives that you want to be. And we'll see you then. Have a good one.
Stay wavy.